Oh my goodness, that was so exciting, Venus. I'm like giddy right now.
Giddy girl, giddy girl.
I've never been that close to one of your readings. You're listening to CITR 101.9 FM in Vancouver, or maybe you're listening to CITR.ca online. You can also listen to podcasts after the fact. Just go to the schedule and you'll find the show, and there's a little orange button. Click on that and you can listen to podcasts if you've missed part of the show. If you want to get on the air, the number to call is 604-822-2487. That's 604-UBC-CITR. We are talking with Venus Andrecht, host of Hay House Radio's Dear Venus. She's a clarifying counselor. She can speak with just about anyone, living or dead, mind to mind, and get some clarification. So we were just speaking with Diana, and some tremendous insights there. So if you want to get on the line and ask Venus a question, again, the number is 604-822-2487. And thanks to Diana for calling in. That was a great question, and really interesting to be able to listen in on the process, and very exciting. So thank you for doing that.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Marie?
Yeah.
My background a bit was I always had a lot of trouble with men, a lot of men in my life, and I always brought in the wrong kind, you might say. I call them certain men. I finally wrote a book about it because finally I worked out the problems. I figured it out. I took a big machete, a mental machete, and cut all those kind of men out of my life. My life has been so much better ever since. I wrote a book about it because I'm a writer. I write books too, and it's called Certain Men: How to Unneed Them, Unlove Them, and Replace Them with a Good Guy. So Certain Men by Venus Andrecht. And if you go to my website, GodIsAlwaysHappy.com, you can read the first part of the book there. And you can also get it through Amazon.com. But it's helped a lot of women. I have a lot of women's stories in there because I've worked with a lot of women. And it works for men, too, because the men get certain women in their lives also. Mm-hmm. And then I have another book called The Herb Lady's Notebook. As I mentioned that I worked as an herbalist. That's also on Amazon. You can read part of the book on my website, too. Sometimes I throw a little ad in there.
Oh, that's great. I mean, I'm sure that people who are listening will want to read your books, and I think a lot of us can get involved with certain men or certain women, and we kind of follow the same patterns. We might meet different people, but essentially they're the same kind of type, and the same issues come up. And GodIsAlwaysHappy.com, that's your website, and you also have a blog there.
Oh, yes. My blog. My blog is just my personal life, and it's pretty funny and amusing, I would think. A lot of people say so. I just try and help people see the brighter side of life to lift their spirits. There's a lot of family stuff in there. My family doesn't read my blog, which is very fortunate for all of us because I can say anything I want. Family, neighbors, things that happen in my life, and you can find that at GodIsAlwaysHappy.com/blog. Also, I give away free readings off my blog. Every time I write a blog, I choose a winner, and I put the name there, and somebody gets a free 15-minute phone consultation with me. And the way to find out about that, of course, is go to my site and go to my blog, and you can find my rates on my site, too, for my personal reading work.
And you can also call into hayhouseradio.com when your show is on and get a reading
for free,
similar to what you did with Diana just now.
Right. Just call in, and if you get on, I know it's hard to get on, but if you do, yeah, you get free readings.
And it's hard to get on at Hay House Radio, but if you want to get on the air right now, it's a lot simpler. The number to call is 604-822-2487. It's so interesting how Diana was just happened to be in Vancouver and listening to CITR at the right time. Synchronicity, that's what it's all about here. And you're listening to CITR 101.9 FM in Vancouver. You can also email me at spiritualshow@gmail.com. Now, Venus, I want to talk more about your mojo, the money mojo and the love mojo, and because you do that occasionally on the show, and I really enjoy it. It's great energy and very energizing. And so I'm wondering, you mentioned that your mother did that.
Yeah. You want to hear the story?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, my mother is very remarkable. She's a remarkable woman. And as we were growing up, we would sometimes complain, oh, I don't have a boyfriend. Oh, my life is terrible. Oh, my God, I'm having all these troubles. You know how it is. And Mom would just say, oh, you just need a mojo. And so she'd look at us, and she'd make all these strange noises and sounds and dancing motions and throw all this energy at us. And by golly, it'd work. And it would rev up our love life, and we'd start getting attention, boyfriends, etc. And then she would do mojos for other things. And one day on the show, Hay House radio show, gosh, I think it was like 3 years ago or so, and it's in the archives at Hay House if you want to go look for it. I just happened to do a mojo over the air. And I get so much email and phone calls off that and all the things that it's done for people. But the thing is, the way I did it, it just pulls in all kinds of love energy. You get it from everywhere and everything. It can be pretty startling. So what I'm thinking of doing, also money mojos. I think I did several of those, and they get good response. What I'm thinking of doing, this is my daughter's idea. She said, Mom, you ought to make up some mojos, like a love mojo, a prosperity mojo, all kinds of different ones, and put them on, what is it, MP3s or something?
Yes.
You have them on your site, and they can download them for a real nominal fee, but they're more refined. It's like I was at, one of my brothers, my youngest brother, is in the hospital, and he's very seriously ill with acute leukemia. He's been there a month. And my mom and I were down there the other day, and he was having a tough day. And I said, Mom, why don't you give him a mojo? She says, oh, you think so? Well, the door is wide open into the room, right? And everybody's walking by, doctors, nurses, people, etc. But, oh, Mom, she's up for anything. And I'll just show you how they work. Arthur was sitting on the bed, my brother, and Mom's sitting in a chair. Now, she's 86 years old, I said, Mom, give him a health mojo. And so she goes, I can't show you because it's over the radio. Can't show you how she did it. But basically, you'll just have to picture her bouncing up and down in her chair a little bit and flapping her arms and letting the energy rush through, and she's going, then we look over, and here's these people looking in the door at us. Anyway, Arthur felt a lot better, and he was much better the next day. But they're all different. It just depends on what comes through.
Oh, that's
I don't know. I don't know what else to say about them. What are they? Where do they come from? I think you'd asked me at one point, can anybody do them? I don't have any idea. I know I can do them. But what I do when I'm doing them is I get into a certain space or place, and I feel all this energy of the universe. I see it flying around in circles and all different colors and coming at me. And as I grab into it, and then I just let it come through me. And, sometimes I feel like an idiot. You sound like a chicken that's being stepped on or something. But it works. I don't know if anybody else does these. Have you ever heard? I mean, I've heard of mojos, but we just use that word because it's a funny word. It's nothing like voodoo or anything like that. We could call it anything, but mojo sounds good.
Well, I have tried the mojo before just for fun, and I haven't seen you do it, so I don't know, but I know that the energy, I don't know if it worked as far as money because I wasn't really looking for evidence of it working afterwards, but I know that it felt really good.
Oh, good.
So,
well, you know what some people do is they'll just listen to it over and over and over, and they'll put it on their iPod or something and listen to it, and they say it works a lot that way. I mentioned on my radio show just the other day a lady from Hong Kong was listening to the Money Mojo, and she hadn't really thought much about it, and then she went to a charity event for animals to raise money, and she raised tons and tons of money, and nobody could believe it. They said, we'd never raised this much, and even the security guards were saying, nobody comes into the lobby like this, and you've got all these people coming in donating money. What have you done? She said halfway through she realized, oh, my God, I listened to the Money Mojo.